All right, guys. Well, the first thing we need to do is actually figure out what you got. So, whatever your goal score is, think about it and think about if it was realistic. For your actual score, you had something like 18 out of 31. If you divide the top by the bottom, then times it by 100, you'll get your score. So, for example, if you earned 18 points, I do 18 divided by 31 times 100, so I got a 58%. Now, some of you are thinking, oh my gosh, I did terrible. But what I really want you to focus on is think back to the last test that we had and how many points you earned last time. Was it 8, 9, 10, 15, 18? Did you earn more points this time than last time? And if you did, even if it's 1 point more, then you're on the right track. I want you to focus on how much progress you're making, not necessarily this percentage, okay? Now, if you have if you set your goal score at, I don't know, 70, if you read the directions and attended to precision and actually followed the directions, you will see a blue check mark by your goal score. Sorry. You'll see a goal score, or you'll see a blue check. If you have that blue check, you can go ahead and add 2 percentage points bonus for actually reading and following the directions. So that's what would be recorded, the 60%, if you have that blue check. If you did not get this blue check, you did not put a goal score, which means you did not read and follow the instructions. You're missing out on points everywhere you go if you do not, read instructions. Okay, so let me walk you through the test and see what kind of points you should have gotten. Number 1 was worth 1 point. So you either got a +1, a +1/2, which means you got half credit, or you got a line, and that means you didn't earn any points. Number 2 was multiple choice as well, but it was worth 1 point. So you should see a +1, a +1/2, or no points. Number 3A was worth 1 point. 3B was worth 1 point. 4A was worth a point. 4B was worth 1 point. And each one of these was worth a point. On the back, this box was worth 1 point. This was worth 1 point. And this was worth 1 point. The situation was 1 point. The graph was 1 point. The rule was 1 point. This was a point. This was a point. This was a point. I'm going through and pointing out so you can maybe take a colored marker or a colored pen and circle the ones you didn't get full credit for, because those are the ones you're going to want. If you see a +1/2, or a line through it, those are the ones that we want to go through. All right, 7A. 7A was worth 1 point. 7B was worth 1 point. 7C was worth 1 point. I completely ignored 7D and 7E. It's like they never existed on your test. So I removed them from the test because you know how you have to make a rule and you take some number times x and then you add or subtract some number? In this problem, this number that you multiply x by ends up being a decimal. And we've never been exposed to that in class. And so I don't feel like it's fair. So for the first time you're seeing a decimal is to be on the test. So what I did was I took this one and this one out because this one, you have to interpret that. So it's like they never existed. This was 1 point. The process in number 8 was 1 point. The total cost was 1 point. This was 1 point. This was 1 point. On the back, there was a point for if you set up your axes correctly. If you labeled this one the number of boxes and this one the total cost, and you went up by 10s here, and you went up by 100s here, like the instructions said, then the actual placement of the dots was another point. 8E was a point, and 8F was 1 point. So in total, you had 31 points. So take a second, think about what you got wrong, what you didn't. Maybe make a nice big circle around. Let's say if I didn't get a point on this, I'd take a big circle and take a big circle. That's what we need to correct. If you did not get a +1, meaning you got a +1/2, or you got a big line through it, that means you didn't earn full points. So that's what you need to correct. So take a second now, do that, and then watch the next video, which is Unit 2, mid-unit test, numbers 1 through, I think it's 3A. And then you can start correcting on your correction paper. All right, good luck, guys. Learn from those mistakes.